Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Happy New Year. This is Warcraft Monday, and I'm going to be reacting to World of Warcraft trailers and cinematics part 36. This is a continuation from last week when I was reacting to part 35. And if you want to check out the original videos, as well as World of Warcraft's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. If you want to check out my previous reactions, from part 1 to part 35, remember the playlist card is going to be at the top. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. Okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello everyone, I'm Holly Longdale, the executive producer of World of Warcraft, and I'm here today with our lead combat designer, Brian Halinka. We're excited to be here with you to talk about DragonFlight pre-patch. First though, we wanted to take a moment to thank you, our incredible community, for taking this journey with us. We are thrilled to invite you into Azeroth as WoW embarks on its latest adventure.
With the second part of pre-patch starting to roll out today, we wanted to check in and catch everyone up on what's happening in WoW. There's been a lot going on in the lead up to DragonFlight. We've added a whole lot to the game already. First off, the first UI revamp in the history of World of Warcraft is live. The UI has received a fresh, updated look that improves the visual fidelity while increasing the customizability of tons of HUD elements like the minimap, action bars, and unit frames. The brand new class talent trees are now in the hands of players around the world. This is a project I've worked very closely with my team on. It's really cool to have that out in the hands of players now.
I remember when I first got into Classic, just the joy of earning a point, spending a point, and experimenting with my character and my playstyle.
You know, customization is a big theme of DragonFlight, and these trees represent a revolution on how classes are constructed and played in World of Warcraft. It empowers players with greater control over the abilities that end up in their spellbook, and it's a deeper level of customization that gives meaningful options at every level.
Also, starting today, as Access rolls out, Dracthyr will be playable across the world if you pre-purchase DragonFlight. This is just the beginning of a bright future together.
We have Taryn and Anna, who will stop in to share more on the story of the expansion.
And then, stay with us to hear Graham and Kali talk a little more about how the Dracthyr have evolved since Alpha. And with that, it's time for the world premiere of the launch cinematic for World of Warcraft, DragonFlight.
Okay. Alright, before we commence with that, I just want to say that yes, most of what they've talked about I've already seen in previous trailers, especially in terms of the UI, as well as the trees, the skills trees that they've been showing there. And yeah, I've said that, you know, the skills tree, it looks like there's a lot for you guys to choose in terms of the types of abilities that you want your character to have. Essentially, what did I say? I said that you guys are spoiled for choice. Yes, you're spoiled for choice. You can pick whatever you want, and you know how you want your player character to be like exactly, and or should I say your class. And yeah, it's good. The UI, I'm not entirely sure. You know, that's for you guys who play the game. Whether you guys, you know, enjoy using it the way it is, or do you want it to be like how it was during, you know, previous installments of World of Warcraft. But yeah, so far so good. I really do like the Dracthyr in terms of it flying around the Dragon Isles, and you know, you could see the sun in the distance there, and yeah, it just made it look very, very beautiful, very green, very lush. It's nice. Okay, let's continue. Okay, that was a nice cinematic right there. Nice cinematic trailer. Yeah. Zandalar forever. Zandalar forever. I saw that troll. I saw what he was wearing. That was very Zandalar-like, you know. I know my Zandalar trolls. I know how they look like. So that was definitely a Zandalar troll. And Razagath. Is Razagath a female or a male proto-dragon? I never really got, you know, that information from the previous trailers that I watched 2 weeks back now. Yeah, it's 2 weeks back because, you know, New Year's, holidays and stuff like that. So yeah, 2 weeks back when I was watching the trailers then, they never really told us whether Razagath was a female dragon or a male dragon. But, you know, the dragon is huge. The dragon is extremely huge. I thought it would look, you know, a bit small because I'm thinking about the proto-dragons in the story cinematics, you know, when they were showing the 5 aspect dragons. Before they became, you know, the 5 aspect dragons, they were first the proto-dragons, and, you know, they were very small. They were very small dragons. So I thought maybe, you know, Razagath would be somewhere around their size, but, you know, she's huge. Or he's huge. Yeah. And yeah, with the lightning powers that Razagath has, I wonder, do all proto-dragons also have lightning abilities, you know, lightning elemental abilities, or is it just Razagath? And yeah, she or he was really terrifying, especially when, you know, the jaw was coming out of the clouds or out of the mist and, you know, ready to snap like that. It actually reminds me of House of the Dragon with, what's that dragon's name again? That huge dragon, I forgot. Oh no, I forgot the name of the dragon. Guys, if you guys watch House of the Dragon, you know which dragon I'm talking about, right? That old lady dragon. Yeah, her. When she was flying around with... Oh my gosh, I forgot these characters' names. But she killed the baby dragon, yeah. You know, she came out of the clouds and then she snapped and, you know, bit him in half or bit him into 3 pieces, and then, yeah, she was satisfied with that, yeah. So Razagath reminded me of that, you know, point in House of the Dragon, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, we also saw Alexstrasza, you know, repairing the land or giving the land life, you know, with her ability. I thought maybe she would be, you know, spitting out fire like any other dragon, but, you know, she also has her magical abilities of repairing life or giving life. So yeah, that was also quite nice to see. And yeah, you know, I don't think dragons will ever get old, you know. It's not a fantasy a category that will ever get out of fashion, you know. There's just something magical about dragons and what they can do and, you know, what they are that will always fascinate people, you know. I mean, we're still stuck with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, you know, or should I say I am, yeah, like I'm still stuck with that, with the dragon, you know, trip. But yeah, amazing creatures, even though they are just fictional. Amazing creatures, beautiful creatures, and World of Warcraft have given us a variety of types of dragons, and yeah, it's amazing. Okay, let's continue.
Dragons!
That was awesome.
Oh man, the team worked so hard. Just thank you so much for all your incredible work. So Taryn, you're a huge part of the narrative for DragonFlight, and I had the privilege to direct the trailer we just saw, so
let's dive in. Earlier this year, we saw the first DragonFlight cinematic and witnessed the return of the dragons to their ancestral home, the Dragon Isles. But this all-new cinematic really strives to show what lies in store for the player when they themselves answer the call.
yeah, we really wanted to show the return to adventure. We've been away for a little while in the Shadowlands, and now we're coming back to Azeroth. And for me, when I play WoW, it's exciting and thrilling, and there's danger, but there's also moments of beauty and awe.
Oh yes, that green dragon, is that Ysera? Or is that just another, you know, green dragon aspect? Yeah, I'm just wondering who that dragon was there. Huh.
And the wonder. And so that was really, really important, I think, to capture, because that's where we're going. And we knew from the get-go that we wanted a horde and alliance to fly together. I think that when we were trying to capture, like, who could these characters be? Oh, Wildhammer Dwarf, the first Griffin riders, because they'll love to fly. And then we had the Zandalari Troll, who grew up around giant dinosaurs. He probably has like animal handling +10. And it's kind of a little bit playfulness between them, youth and experience, heart and head. But ultimately, they're flying their dragon companions. That's gonna be a huge part of the game. And if it wasn't enough dragons there, you get to be a dragon.
Get to play a dragon. And as we saw in the DragonFlight Legacies series that we released in the last couple weeks, which if you haven't seen, go check that out.
Go watch.
We saw the origin of the Dracthyr, this new race to World of Warcraft, but with an ancient history that goes back many thousands of years. In fact, long before he was Deathwing, the Black Dragon Neltharion created the Dracthyr to be his loyal soldiers by taking the essence of the mortal races and of dragons and colliding them together to create just an incredibly powerful, versatile adversary.
Their story, I think, resonates with a lot of people because they are stepping into the power, they're discovering who they are. It was one of those really special kind of stories that touches your heart. The power resonates from inside their core and then travels around in all the swirling colors of all the aspects and then coalesces into the ability that they want to use. And then Eternity Surge, which is that power-up move, and they literally stomp into their power. Ability spreads down their wings, and they leap in the air, and there's an arcane blast, and you're like, whoa! And when I saw that, I was like, oh, we have to do that. In our hyper-real style and cinematics, our effects artists and our animators will just dial to 11, and it was a really special moment when that came together.
Right in the middle of the cinematic, though, we saw the debut of Razageth, a primal dragon, the Storm Eater.
She is a dragon unlike anything we've ever seen, that elemental power that she has. And when we were making her in the cinematic, she's huge, and we wanted to show that scale. When we do these hyper-real pieces, we have to think about the realism, the realisticness. What does the inside of a dragon mouth look like? Our art director was like, have you ever seen the inside of a penguin's mouth?
A penguin?
And we were like, nope. And then, you know, it was like, oh my gosh, they're terrifying. So we wanted her jaws coming out the screen, almost eating the camera.
Everything about her just demonstrating this, you know, ability to move the elements at her whim.
Okay, so it's a female dragon. Okay.
Getting back to DragonFlight Legacies for a second, we did see the birth of the original 5 flights, the ones that we're familiar with in World of Warcraft, that have been at our sides throughout all the expansions, all the way back to Cataclysm and even before. We saw how they were bestowed each with tremendous powers over certain domains as protectors of Azeroth. While the green dragons were given domain over nature and the Emerald Dream, while the bronze dragons were given the magics of time. And then we have the black dragons, you know, stewards of the deep places of the earth, and the blue dragons, which are just these arcane protectors of the magics of the world. Finally, the red dragonflight, the flight of life, rebirth. And all of those things are completely encapsulated in the queen of the dragons, Alexstrasza.
She's a beloved character in WoW, and when we first saw her in the announcement cinematic, you could feel like the global, like, yes! And that was super powerful, and in this cinematic, we thought it was super important to show who she is, right? So to me, she's grace, she's regalness, she has like an ancient wisdom to her, but also when she breathes fire, it's not destruction, it's renewal, it's regrowth.
It's a breath
She's
of
the
life.
life finder,
Yes.
yeah. Exactly. So when we fly off into the sunset with her and the dragons, that's what we're going to. We're going for adventure. We're going for exploration. We're going for wonder. And we're going with one of the best characters, I think, in WoW.
And those are really some of the core themes of DragonFlight: renewal, rebirth. What are our legacies? What do they mean? All of these things are coming to bear in the story of DragonFlight. And we'll get to adventure with Alexstrasza, right? We get to talk to her, we get to be there with her. Also with Rathian, Kalikos, Nosdormu, all of these legendary dragons we'll meet and interact with throughout our adventures on the Dragon Isles. And it's just shaping up to be an experience we can't wait for everyone to try out.
I love all those characters, so it's just like, it's gonna be fun.
Let's talk about favorite shot.
Okay.
What's your favorite shot in the show?
I'll
on
tell
3?
you. I'll tell you.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
1, 2, 3.
Tuskar in a boat. They have little baby Tuskars too. They're so cute. So yeah, fan favorite. Yes. With all this talk about dragons, Now is the time for the players to jump in, create their own legacy, and make their very own Dracthyr.
Graham and Collie are up next to teach you exactly how to be the best Dracthyr you can be. Stay tuned.
Okay. Yeah, no, they did a good job. They did a good job with the trailer. And the favorite part for them was the Tuskar. Yeah, okay, I guess that's... I mean, they're cute. They look cute, but I don't know if it was the best part. For me, it was Razagath. You know, the way she came in there, you know, with the clouds and the lightning. And it really, that was just cool. That was amazing. You know, and you could actually see how terrifying she was compared to the dragon riders and their dragons. Yeah, like, she could have killed them if she wanted to. And yeah, the Dracthyr, you know, showing off its arcane abilities through its wings like that. Yeah, that was nice. That was actually quite nice. I didn't talk about it previously because I was so preoccupied with House of the Dragon and, you know, comparing it with what happened with Razagath. So yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, the Dracthyr, you know, showing its elemental abilities was also quite cool. But yeah, the best part for me, I'll stick with Razagath, not the Tuskar. No, man. He's cute, but that's it. Okay, let's continue.
You have awakened to face a shattered past and an uncertain future. Yet the threads of fate weave a new path.
Today, we fight for each other. For all Dracthyr.
By wing or by talon, we will see it done. Show no mercy to these aberrations.
This is our home. The Dracthyr will defend it.
Okay, before they start, yeah, that was also a nice trailer. You know, with the proto-dragons, it looks like their wings are more feather-like instead of being this skin reptilian-looking like wings that other dragons have, which I also found quite interesting. Because after I saw Razagath there, you know, with her flapping her wings, you could see like they will look like feathers instead of it being just like a skin membrane, like, you know, the other dragons that we see in World of Warcraft. So that was quite interesting to see. You know, we hear so much on the stories of the dragon aspects and the Dracthyr, right? But we don't hear anything on the proto-dragons side of the story, you know? Because these other factions or these other groups are all saying we're fighting for our home, we are fighting for the Dragon Isles, we're fighting for this, we're fighting for that. But then you don't really hear what the proto-dragons are fighting for. Why is it that they're at odds with their own cousins? You know, why are they at odds with them? And I think that's an important, you know, question that needs to be answered. Because I can see in these trailers, you know, we're being given such glowing advertisements around the Dracthyr, around the dragon aspects, you know, and the Horde and the Alliance, but we don't hear much about the proto-dragons. So I need to hear more about their side of the story. I also discussed about this in my previous pod, 35 reaction, you know, that we don't really hear much on the proto-dragons side of the story, so I need to hear more about that. But yeah, it was a nice trailer. Okay, let's continue.
That was amazing.
That was awesome. I love seeing those. It makes me so excited for folks to finally be able to get in there and make their Dracthyr Evoker.
There are just so many options you have for both your Dracthyr form and your Visage form. I love that we started with a lot of options and then players are like, hey, can we get some more in the alpha? And we're like, okay, have a bunch more.
So many.
I have a hard time choosing my favorite. Do you have a favorite?
I do. It's the spikes. The fact that I can add spikes to my arms, to my legs, my chest.
There's one ear customization I always choose. It's the notched option with the little
That's a very good
with
one.
the little wingy ears.
Yeah.
I think it's a top-notch customization. Okay. But there's also the really pretty scale colors that we've added because we have that deep vibrant blue and the deep vibrant red.
The blue especially, I think that's what I start with whenever I'm making a Dracthyr.
I'm really excited to customize my visage form also.
Absolutely.
Dragons have a mortal form that they've been able to take. We thought it would be cool for Dracthyr to have the same.
I really love how much self-expression it gives players.
I like to make mine match whatever build I'm playing. So if I'm playing a new range specialization, Devastation, I'll either go with a red theme or a blue theme, depending on the build I'm doing.
That's really cool. Okay, so if I'm playing Preservation, our healer specialization, I'd probably do green scales on my Dracthyr, and then maybe bronze scales on my visage form.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. I like that.
Once I'm done customizing, we get to hop in and start playing through the Forbidden Reach, the Dracthyr's starting experience where you learn what the Dracthyr are about and what it means to be an evoker.
They're going to be able to try out all the new abilities that really make you feel like a dragon.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Soar, the Dracthyr's new racial ability, our new in-air locomotion system that lets you launch yourself up into the air and glide and dive around the Forbidden Reach and all the Dragon Isles.
Wait, they glide and dive around? Do they not fly? Or maybe I'm taking it too literally. Maybe she does mean like, you know, flying around. Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys.
Love Soar.
Yes.
Wanted it from day one, and players said, well, I want to do it a lot more.
Yes.
I want to go faster, fly higher. So now, when you're in the Dragon Isles, progressing your dragon riding skill tree, which also upgrades your dragon riding Drake's capabilities,
Excellent.
it'll also buff Soar, make it go faster and have a shorter cooldown while you're in the Dragon Isles.
I love how Soar makes me appreciate the landscape now and just thinking about what I'm doing a little bit more.
Yeah, the first time you take off and start soaring around, it really makes you view the terrain in a different way, avoid cliffs in a different way. One of the other things players are going to be able to try in the Forbidden Reach is the Evoker's new empowered spell mechanic. So with Fire Breath, as you press and hold the key to cast it, it'll actually charge up, and the longer it charges, has additional effects, which makes you feel like a dragon in a different way.
I'm really glad that we listened to player feedback early on and added a press and tap option also, because for my own playstyle, it just flows better to be able to like tap once to start my precast, to start charging, and then tap again to release that energy and cast that spell.
It's something that we heard about super early on and wanted to make sure that we gave players more options to play the game, you know, the way that works for them. No matter which input option you're using, empowered spells really give you that feeling of physicality and being a dragon.
What ability makes you feel like a dragon the most?
The most. It's gotta be Deep Breath.
Oh yeah,
You know,
oh yeah.
We saw it in the trailer. You launch into the sky, do that strafing run, and just, you know, blowing destruction underneath you, killing probably everything. It does a lot of damage.
Does a lot of damage.
But yeah, it's easily my favorite.
Yeah, I love the talent that goes with Deep Breath, Terror of the Skies.
Yes.
Just because being able to like add a stun on top of a ton of damage, it's great for my Mythic Plus runs. So we have Deep Breath on the Devastation side. On the Preservation side, we have DreamFlight.
That emerald dream energy flowing out of you, it's a lot more serene than Deep Breath, but still really powerful. And what I like about both of them is how they both make you feel very mobile, right? That sense of flight as you're in combat was super important for us.
One of my favorite ones is Rescue.
Oh yeah.
The ability to be able to pick up an ally who maybe is standing in fire and possibly place them somewhere safe. I don't know.
You can place them wherever you want. You do go with them, but I think you'll quickly learn who your friends are when they're using Rescue.
I still remember the day that talent was created.
Yeah.
I think I said to you, we're never allowed to remove this ability. And then I picked your character up and put you on a pillar.
And then you flew away and left me there.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that plays right.
Aside from the physicality, the mobility, I'm also really excited that Evokers get to use the magic from all 5 DragonFlights. They get to cast red, blue, black, bronze, and green spells, and that sort of collection of different capabilities makes them uniquely powerful.
When creating the Evokers and creating the ability for the Evokers, it was amazing to be able to pull from such a different palette of abilities and colors and combine them into something new that we have.
And what better way to start practicing harnessing all that draconic magic than with our pre-patch event, Tempest Unleashed, which starts today with regional resets.
Holly and Brian are going to tell us more about it.
Okay, all right. That was an interesting, information on the Dracthyr Evoker class. I'm just wondering, can you fly in other installments of World of Warcraft, like in Shadowlands? Can you use your Dracthyr in Shadowlands and previous installments of World of Warcraft, or does it only start at this new one, at this new World of Warcraft installment, and then from there on, in future installments, you'll still be able to fly around Azeroth or wherever else you'll be with your Dracthyr? I'm just wondering about that, because it looks like it's only going to be available on the Dragon Isles, and you won't be able to use this character anywhere else. That's how it seems. That's how I'm hearing it from them. They haven't really said anything about traveling across Azeroth as a Dracthyr. They've only been sticking to the Dragon Isles. So I guess maybe that's where it's going to be for now, and then later on in the future, after DragonFlight, maybe they will include it in other areas or regions in World of Warcraft. But yeah, the class, the Dracthyr race itself is also quite interesting. And there was a part in the cinematic, I can't remember which one it was, but some of the dragons were calling the Dracthyr aberrations, meaning they don't really accept them as dragons. They just see them as possibly like abominations, things that were created by not created naturally, they were just manufactured. So maybe they don't look at them as their equals or as their siblings or kin, and maybe that might become a problem as well. So they won't be dealing with the proto-dragons alone, they'll also be dealing with dragons that have not fully accepted the existence of the Dracthyr. Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
As pre-patch rolls out, it's not only the Dracthyr that are on the move. Other forces are stirring too.
Primal storms are erupting throughout Azeroth as the presence of the primalist forces begin to take hold. Earth, ice, fire, and wind, and they appear in iconic locations across Azeroth, bringing elemental-infused enemies with them. Defeating these enemies gives you an opportunity to summon an imposing boss elemental who offers a weekly reward to everyone who defeats them. It's a great way to gear up your characters to be ready to jump right into the new expansion. Also available with the pre-patch is a return to the Alderman dungeon. This updated version of the classic dungeon tells a new story while preserving the feel of the original. It's now available at level 60 on normal difficulty, and it offers unique loot that is only available during this limited time.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We hope you enjoy the pre-patch event. We can't wait to see you on November 28th, where we'll uncover the secrets of the Dragon Isles together.
It's going to be an excellent adventure. Before we go, though, let's roll that beautiful cinematic one more time. And we'll see you in Azeroth.
Beautiful trailer. Beautiful. Maybe I should have double checked on the videos that I downloaded, you know. Oh man. Yeah, sorry guys, sorry. We're gonna watch this again, I guess. But it's a good trailer, is it not? Yeah, let's continue. If you guys don't want to watch it, you can skip over to the next, you know, reaction part. Yeah. Again, a very beautiful, amazing trailer. Yes. Sorry guys, I should have double checked, you know, that I'm not downloading the same thing over and over again. But you know, I don't watch the videos beforehand and then you know, react to it. I don't do that. So I just took everything from the World of Warcraft YouTube channel and then, you know, I'm reacting to it right now. So I'm sorry.
You have awakened to face a shattered past and an uncertain future. Yet the threads of fate weave a new path.
Today, we fight for each other. For all Dracthyr.
By wing or by talon, we will see it done. Show no mercy to these aberrations.
This is our home. The Dracthyr will defend it.
Yeah, I'm wondering with the what is it called again? Deep breath and dream flame. Can you also, by mistake, attack your comrades with that kind of ability? Because I know it's like a strafing attack, as you're flying in the air, and then you're breathing your fire out, and you attack within a certain straight line direction. I'm just wondering, would it be possible for you to actually, have like a friendly fire kind of situation where your allies also get hurt, or is it only going to affect your enemies? Yeah, I'm just wondering about that. And also, like I've discussed before, that some of the dragons don't seem to accept the existence of the Dracthyr. They're calling them aberrations. So yeah, the Dracthyr are not only going to have to be dealing with the proto-dragons, but also with the dragons of the 5 aspects. It seems that some of them don't accept their existence. But yeah, interesting, very interesting. Oh yeah, and the Dracthyr, they're like dive bombers. Whenever they dive, they clap their wings, into their body, and then they just descend down like there's some sort of like a bomb or something. So yeah, that was also that was also very unique. I mean, I've seen the other dragons do something similar. Not Dracthyr dragons, but then the other dragons. But with them, it seems much more deadly. Because they're doing it in groups. And they just look like they're dive bombers going straight down to their target. So yeah, that's also quite interesting.
Blizzard Entertainment presents. A walrus-like Tuskar sits fishing in a boat on a misty ocean cove. A huge blue dragon swoops by, knocking the Tuskar over.
Okay, this is different. This is different. Why is she talking to us? Okay. Maybe this is meant for people who are visually impaired, maybe. I don't know. But okay.
Dragon soars over towering peaks. On its back, a female dwarf hunter. A red dragon dives in front of the blue. On its back, a male Zandalari troll warrior with a broken tusk. Raising a fist, the troll dives deep into a valley of red peaks with sparse greenery. The red dragon bounds off the pinnacles of rock. With a wry smirk, the dwarf lowers her goggles. She dives, swerving round a pillar and corkscrewing through a waterfall before pulling up right before a sheer rock face. Frowning, she urges the blue dragon up the cliff. The blue dragon pushes off an overhang and zooms up through the clouds right in front of the troll's red dragon. Both dragons spiral up into the sunny clouds. In an idyllic grove with a stream, a Dreamweaver dragon lies resting underneath a willow tree as sunlight filters through the purple leaves. It looks up as dark clouds gather and lightning forks. Razagath the Storm Eater chases the dwarf and troll, lightning flashing around her giant spined dragon head. The dwarf nods to the troll and they plunge through the clouds. Razagath gives chase, baring her beaked jaws. Biting at the pair, she misses, smashing into a rock. The dwarf and troll ascend higher and Razagath follows, gargantuan jaws, gaping with massive needle-sharp teeth. The view dives into a Dracthyr Kresh cavern. Magic fire burns in the hand of the Dracthyr Emberthal. With wings spread, she stamps and hurls fireballs. She empowers an Eternity Surge spell. Suffused with glowing energy, she leaps. Magic missiles swirl and explode. We transition to the sun shining through as storm clouds part. The dwarf and troll punch their fists in the air. The red dragon and troll peel off. The dwarf stares as the mighty Alexstrasza, the dragon queen, draws alongside. The dwarf smiles, awestruck. Alexstrasza rears up, then dives, breathing magical fire, turning barren land to lush green forests. The dwarf and troll follow her, all three soaring through the sun-gilded clouds. More dragons join as the view flares and the title appears in winged and metallic lettering, World of Warcraft, DragonFlight.
Okay, yes, that is now what, the fourth time I've seen the trailer. Yes, it's still good, but seeing it 4 times it's getting a bit tiring now. But yeah, this one was different. And, you know, it had an audio, voice, description kind of situation. Yeah, I think maybe it's meant for the visually impaired. Probably, I don't know. Like, I don't know why would World of Warcraft do something like this. I don't think they've done something like this before with their previous, trailers and cinematics. So this is different. Yeah, guys, in the comment section, you guys can tell me, like, why did they do this exactly? It's nothing bad. It's just, I'm just curious to know why. All right, let's continue.
Pre-purchase now, get early access to the new class, Dracthyr Evoker, worldofwarcraft.com. World of Warcraft DragonFlight, November 28, worldofwarcraft.com.
Something has happened, Khadgar. Something terrible. Who is she? What is she?
She is Razagath, youngest of the primal incarnates.
The release of Razagath heralds great danger for this world.
If we are to be protectors once more, the aspects of our dragonflights must be made anew.
Then it seems the mortal races too must answer the call and face the storms ahead. Along the way, you may discover a new destiny of your own.
Okay, that was cool. Yeah, we got to see Rathian there. The blue dragon aspect dragon there. I forgot his name. Malagos is dead, right? I think this is Caligos, right? Caligos, is that how you say his name? I can't remember, guys, I'm sorry. But I do remember that dragon, yes. And of course we saw Khadgar saying that, mortals also have to participate. Hey, the issue with, mortals, or should I say the participation of, the World of Warcraft gaming community, you guys are like locusts. Once you enter into a new, environment, you just consume. You consume, you destroy, you pillage, you finish it all, finish everything. And then you're done with the Dragon Isles and you're like, what's next? So yeah, when Khadgar was saying we also must participate in trying to save, the Dragon Isles and, all of Azeroth, I just knew you guys were just gonna really just devour this entire island. And that dwarf saying, yes, let's go, it just made it worse, because that's how, it just came into my mind, like, okay, these guys, they're going to destroy this island. They're not here to discover, they're here to pillage, they're here to colonize. That's what you guys are there to do. But yeah, it was quite interesting. And also got to find out that Razagath is the youngest, meaning there's other proto-dragons that look similar to her, right? So yeah, I'm just wondering what happened to them. But yeah, she's the youngest. Okay. I guess maybe we'll know more about her side of the story probably in the gameplay and not in the trailers, because I'm still hoping that they'll give us a bit of a backstory on the proto-dragons, on their side of things, like why are they being antagonistic against the dragon aspects, and why the dragon aspects are also continuing to be antagonistic against the proto-dragons. Yeah. Okay.
Got a surprise for you guys.
Wait, did you get a jet?
You want to see how we do these big Hollywood VFX shots?
Okay, you guys, watch this. This is my favorite part of the day.
You'll see.
Good boy.
I call him PJ.
Yeah! Nailed it! Timing was perfect! That was fire.
Guys, don't give us false hope like that. Like I like when it said they get your own dragon, you know. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right thing to say. Because yeah, the dragons kind of look believable, but not really, you know. I don't know. Get your own dragon. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I really like that advert. Yeah, you know, the superstars there, the actors and actress, you know, showing us the dragons that they have. And yeah, it looked cool, but you know, in real life, you're not gonna get those dragons. So probably they should have put in player characters or something. I don't know. Yeah, but it was okay. It was okay. Oh, for a moment there, I thought we're going to watch it for the first time.
Welcome to the World of Warcraft survival guide for DragonFlight, the next expansion coming to World of Warcraft. I'm Nagura.
I'm Sidhu.
And I'm Hazel. We'll be your guides as you explore the biggest updates in the expansion, as well as the new stories, zones, and dungeons of the Dragon Isles. Long ago, dragons called these isles the Broodlands, and it was here that Keeper Tyr oversaw the construction of a facility that would evolve the proto-dragons and imbue them with the power of the 5 dragonflights. But the Sundering changed everything, and the primal elements that once shaped the landscape went dormant, and the dragons themselves departed. Now, the primal elements have resurged, causing proto-dragons and other new life to arise. A new expansion means 10 new levels to attain on your characters, and with the recent talent tree revamp, you can look forward to earning 10 more talent points to spend fine-tuning your specialization. You'll level up in the 4 new zones of the Dragon Isles, the Waking Shores, Onaran Plains, the Azure Span, and Thaldraszus.
Along the way, you're going to learn dragon riding. Available throughout the Dragon Isles, dragon riding is a kind of flying like you've never experienced before in World of Warcraft. In each of the 4 zones, you'll unlock a new type of rideable dragon as well as a new ability to add to your dragon riding skills.
I'm just wondering, will you be able to compete with other players in terms of dragon flying? Like, is there like a race that you guys can participate in to see who would be the fastest dragon rider or something like that? Yeah.
Your dragon riding dragons are customizable, and once you've reached max level, you're going to find dragon glyphs that unlock all sorts of customizations. Those unlocks are account-wide, by the way.
Meaning I can make my own Drogon. Oh, that would be so cool. Like an all-black dragon with some red, you know, wings and, you know, all those horns on the face like Drogon. Or I would do something like that. Yes, I want my own Drogon.
The City of Valdrakken is your main hub in DragonFlight, and it's there that you'll find all of the vendors, trainers, and other helpful people you might be looking for.
DragonFlight includes 8 new dungeons: Neltharis, Uldaman Legacy of Tyr, Ruby Life Pools, the Azure Vault, Brackenhide Hollow, the Nokkad Offensive, Halls of Infusion, and Algathar Academy. In the Dragon Isles, you'll get to know 4 influential major factions: the Valdrakken Accord, Dragonscale Expedition, Iskara Taskar, and the Marug Centaur. As you participate in content throughout the Dragon Isles, you'll earn reputation with each of them, and earning reputation unlocks renown ranks with the 4 factions. Each major faction progression is different, with different content for different playstyles. For instance, the Iskara Taskar are renowned for their prowess at fishing, and if you're into fishing, you're going to want what they have to offer. Importantly, major factions are not exclusive. You can aid all 4 factions at once.
Player versus player content is available all throughout the Dragon Isles. That is, if you choose to enable War Mode. Also, a new arena is set to debut with DragonFlight Season 1. It's called the Nakadon Proving Grounds.
For the first time, professions are receiving a major update in DragonFlight. Specializations are back, allowing you to learn to craft powerful weapons and armor. Now, the highest level items made by professions can be soulbound to you and not to the crafter, and hiring another player to craft with your soulbound materials is encouraged. With the new crafting order system, you can browse recipes in all professions, whether you've committed to them or not, and you can create an order for a crafted item from another player with ease. It's like an auction house for professions.
Don't forget, a new raid is opening soon. In Vault of the Incarnate, you'll enter an ancient Titan vault in pursuit of the Storm Proto-Dragon Rasagath, who is trying to free her 3 siblings from imprisonment. Primalist forces have built up a fortress around this vault, and your raid team is going to have to punch through enormous elementals and powerful dragon spawn to reach Rasagath in time to stop her.
The DragonFlight expansion arrives next week with new zones, dungeons, and so much more.
Keep an eye on worldofwarcraft.com for more on this and any other upcoming content in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the Dragon Isles.
That is interesting. Rasagath has 3 siblings. But we weren't actually told why is it a bad idea for her to release her siblings, you know? That's something that I definitely need to know. I need to understand, you know, what is so bad about this particular proto-dragon and her siblings. You know, why? Why do the dragon aspects and everybody else want so badly to, you know, keep these people incarcerated and also Rasagath to be sent back to where she came from? Like, why? I need to know these things. Yeah, and the 4 major factions on the Dragon Isles, you know, the Centaurs, the Voldrakkons, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Dragon Scale Expeditions, and the Iskara Tuskar. It's quite interesting that they decided that, you know, you can participate in all 4 major factions. You don't have to choose one major faction and then you're going to be stuck with them forever, just like how they were doing in Shadowlands, you know. So that's also quite interesting that they added that. It's just like with the ethos of having the Alliance and the Horde working together, you know. You don't have to be stuck in your camp anymore. You can play together with the other faction, and just like how they're doing it here with the 4 major factions on Dragon Isles, you can work with all 4 of them. So yeah, that's good. And also, you know, those who have a particular trade that they can sell to customers, you know, if you're someone who can, you know, create things or create armor, swords, or any form of technology, you know, you go to them, or should I say, you have your own stand. I'm assuming you have your own stand, and, you know, anyone can come to you saying that, can you please make this for me? Can you please make that for me? They give you the resources, you make it for them, and, you know, they pay you for your services. So that's interesting. I like this small economy that they are creating here, besides just selling it to, you know, the regular sellers that you would buy your equipment from or sell your goods to. So yeah, that's quite interesting. And I did discuss about this, but this was a long time ago. I did discuss about this when they were discussing the important updates to World of Warcraft DragonFlight. So yeah, it's good to see that they're keeping on with that, and, you know, they're advertising it to players that, you know, you can sell your skills to people who want particular goods to be made for them. So yeah, that's good. That's very, very good. Okay, let's continue.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and today we are talking World of Warcraft DragonFlight, and we are talking you returning to WoW to play DragonFlight, and everything you need to know to make that happen. Because look, I don't want to make a big deal out of it or anything, okay, but we all noticed you haven't logged in for a while, and that...
Whoa, offline for 7 days, 3 months, 3 years, 11. Wow.
It's fair enough, you know, life happens. Apparently, for other people, I hear that's definitely a thing. But I know you, Internet. I know you've seen those glorious Dragon Isle zones and Tuskar and shiny new UI and talent trees and Tuskar with little hats and majestic dragon-filled skies and proper old-school fantasy vibes and Tuskar but with like glasses on and in-depth new profession and crafting systems and Tuskar making a tasty soup. And I know that little WoW tingle.
Man, you guys are obsessed with these Tuskars. I'm not really that obsessed with them. Honestly, guys, I look, they're cute, but I just don't find them as something that I would be so interested in knowing about, you know. I'm here for the story. I'm here for Razagath. I want to understand this lady. I want to understand what's her background. The Tuskar, to me, they just look like extras, you know, cute extras in this game. But yeah, let's continue. Sorry guys.
Has been flaring up again. And Internet, I understand. Because there is a ton of exciting new features in DragonFlight, both long-awaited and unexpected. And we are going to tell you all about them today, so that when you take your first steps, or flaps, I guess, into the new game, you can pretend that you knew about them all along, and that's okay. We will keep your secrets. No one need ever know. So join us for our 7 top tips for returning players in World of Warcraft DragonFlight. Okay? Go, 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 go. Okay, first things first, let's get your character sorted and ready to go by looking at some of the core new features of DragonFlight. And of course, the return of an old friend, talent trees, allowing you to customize your abilities and talents more than ever before for every situation imaginable, anytime you want. And that...
If you've made a mistake, can you redo it? Is there a way to, you know, deactivate those talents that you've activated and then use the points for another part of the talent tree? I'm just wondering about that. Or is it permanent? Yeah.
That's all well and good. I don't think I need to sell you on how fun talent trees are, but the thing I really like about these is how easy they are to use. Individual builds can be saved, named, and imported or exported, meaning that you can drop that DPS Holy Priest build, or pure auto-attack Fury Warrior build, or, and I kid you not, the no Moonkin form Balance Druid build right there in your guild Discord, and they can see that you were right all along. It can be done, and I did it. Who's laughing now, eh? Also, does anyone know of any guild currently recruiting? Because I'm suddenly available. There has also been a massive UI customization overhaul, giving you complete control over how your WoW gaming experience looks, with nearly every element of the shiny new interface adjustable to your tastes, no matter how bad your taste is. And
yeah, but to put it like right there in the center of the screen? No.
if you think all that looks a bit hard to navigate, well, don't forget the search function, which seriously, like, yes, thank you. Also savable and shareable as individual character profiles or across your entire account. I'm also a big fan of some of the new accessibility options, like the new Interact key, which when enabled allows you to automatically interact with objects and NPCs just by facing them and using a designated key press instead of mouse buttons. Action targeting, which automatically selects enemies as you approach them, and press and hold casting, so that you can spam said enemy with all the smites you've got without ever having to take your finger off the smite button. All things considered, you might find that WoW is just a whole lot easier to play than you remember it. And so now you've created your new evoker and got it all set up, let's play some WoW. Oh wait, you did create your new Dracthyr evoker, didn't you? Okay, fine, off you go. There's only like 15 centillion customization options. You get on with that, and in the meantime, we'll talk about... Ooh, yeah, let's play some WoW. And we're at the good stuff now, fam. Launch day.
Whoa, what is that? Is that a ship?
DragonFlight brings us a whole new continent to explore, the Dragon Isles. Make sure you click on the crow's nest option that appears on the boat ride over for a proper good cinematic eyeful as you arrive. And in my opinion...
Oh, it's an airship. Wow. Okay, no, this is cool. This is really cool. It's nice.
This new continent is an absolute banger. After a couple of years hopping around different planes of existence in Shadowlands, the Dragon Isles feels like a return to Azeroth, but to the kind of classical fantasy aesthetic and feels that will envelop many a returning player like a big warm snuggly blanket. But you know, a spiky blanket with massive shoulder pads, because it is still WoW after all. And my top tip here...
I've said that it reminds me of Pandaria, you know, just because of the colors and the way everything is organized. It just giving me this Pandaria, you know, feel to it, and that's nice. I like Pandaria. I don't know about other people, but I like Pandaria, and definitely Dragon Isles is just reminding me of that. Yeah, it's cool.
Don't forget to explore, because it's easy to look at the huge zones which you can zoom about via the new dragon riding feature, more on that later, and assume that you won't need to go searching in every little nook and cranny of the Isles like you might in past expansions, where you had to spend the first patch or two on foot, but that is not the case at all. And Blizz tries to make that obvious to the player, I think, in the whole vibe of the expansion, which is like, yeah, this is an expedition of discovery. Your main buddies are the Explorers League and the Relinquery, and the whole world is just so beautifully realized and detailed and alive feeling that what I found on beta is that far from making me skip stuff, the ease and entertainment that dragon riding brings to travel in DragonFlight actually really encouraged me to look around and explore much more than I have done in previous expansions. I think many of you will understand what I'm trying to say if I tell you that the vibes and design philosophy of these zones reminds me a lot of Grizzly Hills, in that there's this sense of place where people live and go about their business that you can just be witness to, with some incredible sound design and skyboxes and just spaces to exist in. I don't want to...
I'm just wondering, how long would it take you to walk or to run from one point of the Dragon Isles and to the opposite side of the Dragon Isles? I wonder how long would that take, because I can see with flying, you know, you'd get there pretty quick, but if you were to walk, you know, how long would it take you to traverse all the different zones of, you know, the Dragon Isles? Yeah.
A dweeb here, okay, but it really is bringing the world back into World of Warcraft. So my advice is that whatever you are doing in the Isles, be open to changing course. If you see an interesting looking cave, check it out. If you notice a couple of NPCs walking along the road chatting, go and listen in. If you're doing an outrageously enjoyable dragon race or time trial and the course takes you through an area you're not familiar with, go back and check it out after you've completely, mercilessly destroyed your fellow racers with your Chad dragon riding skills and left them eating your dust. Your air.
Okay, so you do race. Okay, that's nice. That's very, very nice. Yeah, I think that would be a bit difficult though, you know, to you know, explore the land and go into hidden caves and to eavesdrop on other people's conversations, you know, because you'd be flying in the air all the time. You know, I don't know if that would be possible for some players, you know, because when you're flying a dragon, it's just so easy to get from one point to the next that you miss out on what's going on the surface. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I just think that, you know, some of the things that they would want the players to find, they might skip over them because they're flying around in the air.
I guess they'll be eating your air, but yeah, because in my experience on the beta, DragonFlight really seems to reward players who take a moment to look around and take it in. From little hidden quests and character moments and environmental storytelling dotted around, it's felt like coming home for me, and I haven't even been anywhere. There are 8 new dungeons going live with the launch of DragonFlight, as we've come to expect, which thematically tend to tie up storylines which we start and play through in the leveling campaign. From a game structure point of view, these are a really good way of getting your characters geared up to a certain level early on, and of course the real fun comes when they open up as Mythic Plus dungeons in Season 1. But I wanted to take this section just to highlight a couple of my favourite little moments, like the Magical Academy Algathar, where players get to take part in a giant game of Lish-Laroth, or Talon Toss. Ooh, a ball-throwing game in a magical academy? That is an incredible idea. Guys, I think that's got some real potential. Or my personal favorite, the Knockhood Offensive, which is an instanced version of the entire Onaran Plains zone, and where you and your dungeon team get from boss to boss via your dragon-riding drakes. This dungeon is considerably easier to traverse with a fully leveled up drake, more on that later. And if you really don't fancy it even then, don't forget you can use the new ride-along feature to turn into a little whelp and auto-follow a party member who is comfortable taking the reins. And you can just focus on all the boss-killing good stuff. But I love this dungeon. It feels great to be swooping around freely with your homies, and I hope they take this further and have full-on free-form dragon-riding boss fights in future dungeons and raids.
Okay, maybe I can see the purpose of having, you know, part of your UI in the center of your screen, because I could see like there were like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 blocks. I think that's like the health bars of your teammates, and maybe you would want to have something like that there, you know, for you to understand whether your teammates are in trouble or not. So yeah, maybe that is a good thing. Yeah.
In many ways, DragonFlight feels like a return to the core principles of WoW, and that could also be said for the endgame, which feels like a wiping of the slate after what we're going to call the AP era of WoW. So a lot of things that we've started to consider progression staples in recent times are gone, like mission tables. What mission tables? An infinite currency grind connected to your core player that you have to make sure to keep up with week to week throughout the expansion forever? Nope, completely gone. And that's a big deal, because when there is no AP grind and your character's power basically just comes from the gear that they collect from dungeons and raids, and don't forget, fully functional tier sets are back from the very first raid in DragonFlight, and crafting and PvP and the world, that means there's room at endgame for a much more optional journey. And DragonFlight fills that gap with the renown paths of the 4 main factions of the Isles, and a couple of other smaller scale reps on the side for good measure. Renown is basically a remodeling of faction reputation, but with lots more rewards at much more frequent intervals. And because there's no AP equivalent, all those rewards are cosmetic or just unconnected to player power. So in the Waking Shores, you unlock exploring transmogs and rock climbing minigames and drake customizations and new quest lines and portals around the Isles and toys and pets and titles and stuff like that. Tuskar in the Azure Span have backpack transmogs to unlock, new fishing holes and minigames to access across the continent, as well as their own extra quests and recipes and pets. You get the idea. Cool stuff to have and fun to collect, but nothing that any player needs to stay up to date with raiding or whatever. And the fact that you are constantly popping new ranks and rewards from the 4 factions is actually a surprisingly good motivator and makes world and side quests feel really worthwhile. There's also the Black Dragon reputation, where you choose who you want to back as new leader of the flight between Twink Rathian and Daddy Sibelian for even more cool cosmetics, including the Black Dragon scale customization for your...
Wait a minute. So the black aspect has not been decided, like who's going to become the leader? I really thought it would be Rathian. Isn't he like the only black dragon left? So okay, alright, so there's still black dragons out here. Black dragon aspects. Okay. Huh.
Or Drake, which actually that is kind of mandatory really now I think about it. Like, who doesn't want the Black Dragon scale unlock? And another major form of endgame progression is of course the new professions system, which I'm not going to get into tons of detail about now, but with so many different areas to specialize in, and the new work order system where you basically pick up other player commissions to fill and improve your skills, it's another optional but incredibly rewarding and potentially very lucrative way to spend your endgame days. There's even a unique transmog set available for open world PvP kills in war mode if you like. DragonFlight is very much the optional grind expansion in this first patch, and that's a big philosophy change that might take a while for some players to get used to, but I think it's a good one, done really well, and I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with it. If If you haven't played WoW for a moment, there are some big quality of life improvements that might be new to you. Like, you know, you can group with players on the opposing faction now, right? Horde and Alliance, running dungeons and raids together, if the group leader has enabled it. Mass hysteria. There's also the Inspiration Catalyst, which allows players to turn standard non-tier items of raid gear, dungeon gear, PvP gear, and certain open world gear into tier set pieces, meaning that players can work towards unlocking their tier set and bonuses no matter what content they prefer, and which I can't lie, works as quite nice bad luck protection for raiders like me too. But the big feature that will be new to everyone, and which we've touched on already today, is dragon riding, the new momentum-based flying mechanic which will be your main way of traversing the Dragon Isles. Dragon riding takes a minute to master and has a talent tree that needs to be unlocked by collecting dragon riding glyphs from all around the map to reach its true potential. But all
I like the music. I like the music.
glyphs are there, waiting to be picked up at the very start of the expansion, meaning that you can go and collect them all the moment you pick up your first Drake, just a few minutes into the opening questing. It's almost 3 times faster than normal WoW flying, it's like 1,000,000 times more fun in my opinion, and enhances every other aspect of the game with its mere presence. Drakes are customizable to an absurd degree with some complete transformations.
That looks like Razagath right there. Hey.
That drop from certain bosses and achievements, and which will undoubtedly continue throughout the expansion. But the best thing of all your dragon riding progress, from your drakes to their customization unlocks to the glyphs you've collected to upgrade them, are completely account-wide, because DragonFlight is also objectively the most alt-friendly expansion in World of Warcraft history. So those renown rewards that we saw in the last section, all of them, apart from like the supply crates, are account-wide unlocks. So all that transmog, but also mini-game unlocks and fishing hole unlocks and everything else, it's all account-wide. And I've got to tell you, it feels pretty good to step off the boat on an alt, and before you've even picked up a quest, mounting up onto a fully leveled dragon riding drake and zooming all over the map, doing world quests and picking up treasures that you've unlocked on your main. Top stuff. And you know, at last. A couple of weeks into the expansion, as usual, comes Season 1, with the opening of the Vault of Incarnates raid, but a new structure to a lot else, like the 8-dungeon Mythic Plus pool featuring 4 DragonFlight dungeons and 4 dungeons from returning expansions, meaning that Season 2 will have a complete 100% different dungeon and loot table lineup to its predecessor. A really good change in my opinion that I'm looking forward to seeing play out. Different dungeons every Mythic Plus season is awesome. For PvPers, there's new solo queue arena, including ranked mode, which, look, you asked for it, fam, okay? Don't blame me, this is something you said you all wanted. And even the raid is the first in modern WoW to release all difficulty modes at the same time, something that will definitely have an interesting impact on the Race to World First. But much more important than that, the Race to World First for guilds with a name a bit like Immortalis, the true race that all the cool kids love, started by my guild called, and this might not be a massive surprise to you, Immortalis,
Right.
specifically to create a competition that we might actually win, but which we don't often win. Curse you other Immortalises, and especially you a bit like Immortalis, you guys suck. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you are returning to the game for DragonFlight, then that's great. I think you're going to really enjoy it. But don't forget the return tax. A new rule that I mean Blizzard, invented very recently, where no...
Right. Return tax. Who is he trying to fool here?
Loot will drop for you if you don't send 10,000 gold weekly to Mavamwi on Argent Dawn EU. That's...
You are mad.
MYFF.
Okay, that's enough, Tally. There's no return tax, don't worry. Thanks for joining us for the video today, and if you are returning to the game for DragonFlight, then I hope it was useful and that we see you soon. I'll be in the Azure Span hanging out with the Tuskar.
I already did all the Tuskar jokes.
From me, Evitel, and Taliesin, until next time, cheerio.
Oh, okay. Alright, guys. That was World of Warcraft Cinematics and Trailers, part 36 on the World of Warcraft YouTube channel. wow, it's been 1 hour 15 minutes. Yes. It was a very, very entertaining, very interesting and informative 1 hour 15 minutes. We've gone through back to front in terms of what's going to be happening in DragonFlight. You know, all the types of activities you guys will be able to participate in. You know, exploring the Dragon Isles, also going through the raids, and also having, you know, spoiled for choice in terms of the skills trees that you've been given for your different classes. And then, of course, you have the Evoker class of the Dracthyr race. And then you also have the stories, or should I say the backstories between the dragon aspects, the evokers, not evokers, the Dracthyr, and the proto-dragons, also going to be a very important story to look into. And, you know, just also exploring the Dragon Isles, it's going to be very, you know, expansive in terms of exploring in different regions. You know, there'll be hidden places, there'll be places out in the open that you'll be able to see from a distance. You go travel there, you go and investigate, help out any, you know, people who are there that need help, gain new abilities, items that you can also sell to get better items. Also, of course, also the PvP arenas that are still to come. I'm not sure if they are there already, if they're active, if people are already participating, but yeah, that's also there. And yeah, there's a lot of activities to do here, not just flying around with your dragon, not just completing the main quest line, but also other sub quest lines and other mini stories of the different factions on the Dragon Isles that you need to complete. And yeah, it's a very packed game, and I'm still wondering whether people are still playing. Like, I don't think anyone is done with it yet. You know, I think they're still in season 1, if not mistaken, or maybe they're in season 2 this year, I'm not sure. But you know, there's still a lot of things to do in the Dragon Isles, and yeah, I can't wait to finally start reacting to gameplay. Hopefully that's going to be starting next week, and hopefully I'm going to see you guys there as well, you know, watching my reaction, also commenting and, you know, giving me some few points, some few tips here and there. But yeah, this is it's interesting, it's exciting. I must admit, it's really exciting. In fact, it was always exciting from the very first cinematic for DragonFlight, you know, and now I'm actually just pumped up to watch this gameplay. I still haven't chosen who am I going to be, you know, reacting to, which channel. I still need to get to that. And yeah, hopefully you guys will be there next week Monday. Whew, this was good. This was really good. Guys, that's it. Remember, if you want to check out the original videos as well as World of Warcraft's YouTube channel, the links are in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I will see you guys next week Monday. Okay, good night.